The Brokie Epidemic. Oh my.
So lately, the internet is having beef with broke people, or at least who they perceive are broke people. Okay. I'm convinced 90% of the people saying Brokie unironically to offend others are usually broke.
Sure, Brokie, hustle for that 200K. 200K is broke. No, save cash, work for the government. So wrong again. Wrong person to call broke because my money stretches further than your. Oh, you're still broke. You always be at this rate, 200K.
Themselves. Regardless, I've got a love-hate relationship with this term. I think it's pretty funny if used ironically, and actually I still find it funny when used unironically because it's a huge beacon that basically shouts, I'm the actual broke and jealous one who's projecting it onto everyone else. By the way, you're not a bad person for wanting financial freedom or pursuing a successful level of wealth. I personally don't care about becoming the next Elon Musk.
Trillionaire now? Wow.
Of the world, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't at least care enough about money to still be responsible in how I earn it, spend it, and understand it. The reason I mention this is because a lot of people who get pitfalled by this Brokie ideology are usually doomed to actually be the brokest of all, since they seem to be racing to the bottom by making the rich richer while making themselves even broker, but then calling everyone else broke instead.
The problem with calling someone else broke and you're not a multimillionaire, it's just like, what is considered broke? Everybody broke to somebody. Bro, there's probably some king overseas who looks at fucking Elon Musk and is like, I remember I made my first trillion. Like, we all broke to somebody. Stop calling niggas broke. What is wrong with y'all?
Burrito bowl dinner on door.
And a nigga will call you broke because you don't want to spend shit. You don't want to spend and waste your money the way that he wasted his money. We can really get into the facts.
DoorDash comes to $41, but thanks to Klarna, you can make 4 payments of $10.40
$10 in what?
Over the course of 6 weeks instead.
Buy now,
6 weeks.
Suffer later. This is the biggest component pushing forward the Brokie epidemic, which is the buy now, pay later trap. The most poverty spec behavior that these anti-brokies cope with is how, because they can afford nice things constantly, they must not be the broke ones. Therefore, the real
if you don't have a Hermes bag, then don't talk to me. First of all, yeah, I gotta stop spending that. Hermes bag. Damn, 13. I just seen that. $13,000 to $18,000. Whoa. You talking about this Birkin? Ain't this the stuff that city girls be rapping about? He gotta buy me a Birkin. Shawty, a what? A Birkin? You might get this Birkin from Mountain Lifestyle for $35. And even then, that's pushing it. $320,000? What the? Oh, hell. Tell me something if you don't have a Hermes bag. How am I broke? You spent $500,000.
Are all of us who don't have the nice things like they do. Newsflash, financing things isn't actually affording it. Why are we still confusing these two? There's this really cool video where it talks about how a lot of people still mix up wealth and debt.
Denali, 2,500. You jealous, ain't you? Whoo-wee, that's a lot of money. We work at the same place. I know about what you make. Yeah, I know we work at the same place. I got more money than you. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You got a lot of debt. You know the difference between debt and money. You got a lot of debt. But I don't think you got that much money.
Having a lot of...
Hold on, say it again. For the people in the back.
You got a lot of debt. But I don't think you got that much money.
Having a lot of nice things doesn't mean you can't be a brokie. In fact, most brokies try to hide how broke they are by having nice things. Why do you think Labubus are a recession indicator? In no universe where we have a healthy economy would people be collecting these. It's just ridiculous, right? We even have people on Twitter constantly bragging about stupid things like if your car model...
Just dropped the stack on the new 2025 Hyundai Elantra. So if your car ain't as new as mine, we ain't dating. What? Woman said she lost interest in a date when a man showed up driving a 2017 Elantra. I wanted a date with a man. He pulled up a 2017 Elantra. Am I materialistic if that gave me supreme ick? And her name is just a girl. Like, bro, can we stop in today's society? Do you think people back in the day, do you think 10 years ago, not before the internet, but you get what I'm saying? In 2016, I mean, even then, supercars, like, bro, let's say 15 years ago, bro, no one cared if you had, like, obviously, like, having a nice car was tough, like, paint job, you know what I'm saying, clean paint jobs. But, like, bro, you're telling me he pulled up in a 2017 Elantra? You posted this in 2024. That car wasn't even 10 years old. That was a 7-year-old car.
Isn't as new as mine, I'm not dating you. Or if your car model year isn't newer than insert year, you're a brokey. What's sad is that, like, these are non-car people. Why do they care about what kind of car you have? I mean, in this day and age, most people are even driving like 30-year-old cars. Like, the car market is rough. I've already made a few videos covering that topic. And if you enjoyed this video so far, make sure to subscribe, like, all the good stuff. But the thing is, like, lady, no one cares about your freaking 2020.
Now that we're here, subscribe though. It's down there. I'm enjoying my snack. You want one? Okay.
25 Hyundai. Who cares about model year? Because in that case, a 1992 McLaren F1 must be broke AF. Oh, wait a second. It's actually worth more than their entire bloodline. Yeah, I went there. Not just her net worth, not just her grandparents or great-grandparents' net worth, or her future kids' net worth. None of them are going to make that amount of cash in their lifetime, especially with that kind of attitude. I'm so tired of peak consumerism having hijacked a lot of these broke people's brains who constantly buy stuff, and they now think that that makes them rich. Like, again, these items usually depreciate, so everyone has a plan until the rep nation attacks. Like, the only replicas I hate are replica car wheels, because it's dangerous to drive on lower quality wheels that are meant to keep multi-thousand-pound machines on the road, by the way. That is not something you should be cheaping out on parts for. However, anything else that's replicated is just funny to me, and I absolutely support anyone buying it, because most of the fashion industry is a sham anyways, and most of them are actually already
You might get bad. I bought reps before. I've done it, bro.
Replicas. I've also made a video on that in the past as well. This isn't even me talking down to China. I love what they're doing. Again, I think this is funny because most things are already made in China anyways, whether it's handbags, jewelry, or sneakers. Rage baiting people of replicas has to be a commendable act of valor these days. Y'all rep boys, you guys keep up the good fight. I am so tired of people literally wasting thousands on these things, all using buy now, pay later just to get our brand label and pretend it makes them high status and they have the right to call everyone else brokies who don't have it. Again, if you just look at how real rich people dress, they usually wear unbranded things or they just wear really cheap clothing. Like, at the end of the day, these aren't like a watch from 100 years ago. If it doesn't have actual history, no one's going to care to keep track of whether or not it's a replica or otherwise. Fake it till you make it. Speaking of supercars, the most advanced form of buy now, pay later comes with the existence of supercar specific lenders, also known as exotic car financing. There are 120 to even 144 month financing. That's 12 years, by the way. That's almost a 15-year mortgage at that.
What? 144 months? Oh, goodness.
That point. To put this into perspective, someone financing an $80,000 Dodge Challenger Hellcat for 29.99% APR for 72 months is actually buying that car for 160 grand, basically double what the car's price is. I made a whole video talking about this, not going to re-explain it here. But the point is, like, you can only imagine how much worse this must get for something that is twice the duration of 72 months, 144 months. The interest payments on that must look completely asinine. You probably already know better than I. Literally no actual rich person is doing this. I noticed a lot of the 2025 Brokie Epidemic has a lot in common with the fake rich phenomenon a few years back, because during those years there were a lot of people who would just flex these supercars and whatever, and they were actually loaning them. And even so, these supercar loans, as well as these buy now pay later schemes, they actually aim for this middle class fake rich, which are people who obviously aren't in poverty, but they're also not truly wealthy, but they still have enough money to be able to apply for these loans to begin with, and therefore fall for these traps. So Cara Nicole has a cool video series covering the fake rich phenomenon if you need a better explanation. But someone who is actually rich also isn't applying for these loans either, since if they really did want a loan on a supercar, they'd probably just do 3, 5, maybe 6 years at most, or they'll just buy in full. And I know that some finance bro is gonna hit me with the it's called keeping your wealth streams open. Why would you sink 200 grand at once? Which is why buying in full is stupid, because I need to open up that cash for other options opportunities. Let me do some actual finance speak for these wannabe finance bros. Keeping wealth streams flowing makes sense if you're loaning something at a lower interest rate than the market rate. This is one of those things, you're going to see this later in the video too, where the phrase they're saying is true, but their understanding of it is completely incorrect. And sorry, this is starting to get dull and not interesting. So for younger Gen Z, jingle, here's me building a V8 engine in Minecraft using redstone. Like, cause I've built a lot of cool things in this game.
Nice.
I might start a second channel on it. That's something I might do in the future. Anyways, there's a very, the answer is oftentimes no. Content I is going to yield more profit than the index. Jingle. Here's me building a V8 engine in Minecraft using redstone. Like, cause I've built a lot of cool things in this game. I might start a second channel on it. That's something I might do in the future. Anyways, there's a very low chance that the supercar's loan interest is going to yield more profit than the index fund. So they have to ask themselves, can the content I make with this actually beat the market rate? The answer is oftentimes no, especially when you factor in insurance, wear and tear, depreciation from all the wear and tear, and again, depending on what interest rate they have, because that'll make it worse or better depending on how good they did, depending on their credit score. So, but what I'm talking about is like a lot of these fake rich people who make fun of brokies, they always own entry-level supercars that they then loan for 144 months. And these entry-level supercars, be completely honest with me, for all the car guys out there, are you really interested in seeing the 20,000th guy start a vlogging career on YouTube or Instagram with yet another Lamborghini Huracan? And yes, there are now that many of them made. And yes, every single one of them are vloggers as well. True wealth is usually being at the top of these wait lists and getting not entry-level supercars for one. They're getting very special high-end hypercars even that all have their examples already spoken for. And a lot of these entry-level supercar owning finance bros don't even know what that phrase means, which proves that they're the real brokie here. Never ever fall for these fake finance gurus, and anyone outside the car bubble, you guys are probably rolling your eyes for the best reason, because you guys already know this. You know that a lot of supercar flexers online, especially in the post-quarantine world, are grifters. But the amount of car guys who still think it's the 2017 supercar flexing meta and give the cope of bladed, I trust this guy because he's a Lambo and you don't. Your Corvette's broke boy status. Like, all right, go buy their crypto this time for sure, right? That one's gonna go to the moon, The old adage of fools are easily parted with their money still rings true even to this day. But unfortunately, the idea of being anti-saving is yet another component that's pushing forward this Brokie epidemic. Sometimes you gotta spend money to make money. If I had $1 every time I heard this phrase, I'd have more money than everyone who says that phrase combined, which isn't that much since most of them are actually in debt. So I think literally anyone watching already has more money than most of them. If you're 15 years old and haven't even worked a job yet, congratulations. You technically have a higher net worth than most of these people with this logic. And again, like I said earlier this video, this phrase is true. It's not incorrect. The understanding of it is what's incorrect. I don't want to sound like a bitter guy who's jealous of self-made millionaires. I think it's okay for individuals to gain financial independence and run a business they can be proud of. The problem is that a lot of people who say this phrase nowadays have no idea what it actually means. Instead, they just use it as an excuse to needlessly dump tens of thousands in hopes that they'll someday strike it big. Sometimes they just use this to even cover up bad habits. Like, there are people who unironically call others brokies for not being able to DoorDash $30 on mid-as-hell fast food slop. I see this comment way too much on Caleb Hammer's channel. It's a horrible cook, because whenever he makes fun of people for eating out too much, you always have people who are like, well, sorry you guys are brokies who can't afford $30 meals. I'm on a busy schedule. I'm grinding, bro. I can't be wasting time shopping or
only poors cook. My schedule's too busy to ever cook, so I'm always eat out. If you can't afford it, not my problem, brokie. Oh, wow.
Cooking. Ew. If you are
you
rich
really listening
and
to a nigga
successful,
who's
you'd
behind
understand that you gotta spend money to make money. I don't know a single real wealthy person, especially not the Koenigsegg or Pagani owners, who would order fast food DoorDash under the guise of it helps me grind, bro. Real rich people get it. No, they have personal chefs instead. Heck, some of them do just learn to cook too, because it's fulfilling. I love cooking, all right? It's not that hard. These grind set bros are the most susceptible to falling for literally any scam, since instead of accepting the true meaning of grind set, which means being in it for the long run, a lot of them actually want get-rich-quick schemes. And to give a better example for a lot of the younger people watching,
a lot of people waste time trying to get rich quick and then having to reset when whole time you could have just got rich over a steady period of time. You get what I'm saying? Like, people would try to get rich in quick spurts instead of trying to actually benefit and go over. Like, somebody will try to get rich in 3 months, not get rich in 3 months, fail, and spend the next 5 months to 6 months planning the next way to get rich in 3 months. And then now 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you just spent a whole year when you could have, like, a year's going to pass regardless. Either you're going to get the job done or you're going to let the year pass and you're going to look back and be like, I wish.
Will understand this one. Forget businesses. This also applies to content creation. If you haven't even started a channel or started streaming yet, should you really be buying a $5,000 gaming PC, $2,000 camera, $1,000 XLR microphone? No.
Bro, don't get me started. First of all, yo, he's cooking right there.
Gaming
Hold on.
PC, $2,000 camera, $1,000 XLR.
Bro, if you know, you know. Okay. I have a Shure SMB7. No. I lied. It's like a Shure SMV V7. Right? I digress. This is a $200 mic. This is a $300 mic. I record music. I have like 90,000 to like 100,000 monthly listeners. There are people who went and cop this mic and they don't even have a song out yet. Facts. 24-month financing? No. See, that's where they get you, bro.
Our microphone? No. But there are unfortunately people who answer, yes, I do, Bladed. I need to spend money to make money. The better my equipment, the more subscribers.
The amount of people that say they want to start a YouTube channel, but, oh, I don't have a camera. You know what my camera is, chat? My fucking phone. That's my camera. I shit you not. Look, I use this app right here. Camo app. Look, it's me. Hey, chat. It's connected to my phone. Look, it's my other phone right here too. Like, bro, y'all be wildin', bro. Just start.
Okay, that's exactly how that works. So when you go $8,000 into the hole without any profit or even any viewers or without even a plan or without even starting your channel, what happens when 3 months passes by? You give up. And this isn't me talking down to people. So Healthy Gamer GG has a good video on this topic. I'm gonna summarize it briefly. A lot of people like to move the goalposts and then they wonder why they're lazy or why they're disappointed that they aren't succeeding as fast as they wanted to and why they want to give up now. So they call themselves lazy, they call themselves not determined, they have problems with motivation, they give up too easily. Believe it or not as many people are actually as lazy as they think they are, including most of you watching. Things in life get hard because we sometimes are guilty of making them needlessly hard, and this does apply to this exact phrase. The greatest content creators, the most successful authors, investors, and businessmen, all of them have one thing in common. They just started. And the first few things you make, by the way, suck. But that's okay, because guess how you get better? You suck first. You lose, and then you know how to not lose and how to play the game better, so then you start winning. The lower the barrier of entry it is, the more your brain actually wants to do it. Please stop moving the hurdle. Moist Critical and many big creators still use USB microphones. I think he in specific uses an Audio Technica 2020. And look at his viewership, right?
Hey,
I don't think the general public will care.
Wait. I got that one too. Oh my goodness. I have too many fucking mics. Why is there 3 mics on this table right now? I got the AT2020 as well.
Care about the 10 to 20% difference
I got this shit
between
at
a
the pawn
USB mic and XLR, and I know it's gonna hurt some audio files. And why do they call themselves that? No offense, that you guys might need to rebrand what you guys call yourselves. I know file doesn't have like a bad connotation, but with what it's commonly associated with nowadays, that just feels like a dirty word to say. But like I literally have a Shure XLR now, 8 years later in my YouTube career, and I bet hardly anyone cared my microphone even changed this year. Most people probably didn't even notice because they have such cheap headphones that it basically USB cancels out the 10 to 20% difference anyways. Like basically, if you have a USB mic or XLR mic, you sound good enough to most headphones. Just spend $100. You're more than good enough. Because if you only spend $100 and just start going off the rip, because most smartphones these days have good enough cameras. You don't need a super good camera off the rip. When you spend nothing or hardly anything, the first few months of even making a few dollars to a few $10, even a few $100, instantly covers your starting expenses, so you don't feel demotivated. You feel the opposite. You go, whoa, I spent $100 to start this channel. I'm already making $200 after a few months. I feel great. I'm gonna keep going. Whereas if you spend $8,000, you will see the $200 as a failure. You'll be like, oh, I've been doing this for 3 months. I only made $200. I'm still $700-800 in the hole, and that's the problem.
He fat.
It recontextualizes everything. Tying this back in the video, it's like leveling in a video game. You know when you pick up a weapon and it's too high of a level for you currently, and it gives you the warning of this item's gonna have reduced stats until you properly meet the requirements. $10,000 of equipment is worthless to someone who just started and has no idea how to correctly use it. There are beginners out there who set up XLR microphones worse than how a USB microphone sounds out the box. That is just a fact, which is why you need to wait until you know what you're doing first before you upgrade
because I got this one.
anyways,
This one
because you've
XLR is
already
going
made
into
money
my
by
Focusrite.
then too. So they develop the skills
saying?
properly and meet requirements correctly. That is why the phrase of spend money to make money is a correct phrase, but not many people, or rather almost no one these days, ever uses it correctly. And it sucks because now people think it's an incorrect logic for your business, because it is okay to scale up your business after you've proved your business works. Don't scale up something that doesn't exist. If you haven't even started yet, there is nothing to scale up yet. You are needlessly raising your barriers of entry. I'm not going to repeat it. Rewind 5 minutes to rewatch everything what I said about
he's speaking
successful
facts.
people and the barriers of entry, whatever. Okay. Anyways, that's my.
He's speaking facts. I'm not gonna lie. That's a W video. Y'all gotta stop. Bro, people gotta stop feeling entitled to things because you could finance them and you can get them now and pay later, bro. That's not how that works, bro. And